Primers hit, the powder's lit. It's time to get on target. Welcome to another episode of the Black Powder Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Yosuke Fett. And just a general reminder of your marching orders and why we have created the Black Powder Podcast. The main mission is to change the social view of black society and firearms. How do we do that? Glad you asked. We talk, walk, read, write, and think about it to find a better solution for a brighter future for the proper protection of black people. Join us through education, practice, and safety as we take down the stigma of black people and guns, one discussion at a time. It is said that what is called the spirit of an age is something to which one cannot return. That this spirit gradually dissipates is due to the world coming to an end. For this reason, although one would like to change today's world back to the spirit of 100 years or more ago, it cannot be done. Thus, it is important to make the best out of every generation. Hakakure, the Book of the Samurai. So I've been sitting here for a good minute trying to figure out how I'm even going to approach this episode. As a father, I'm still shocked and pissed off, and I can't understand what the father of the victim in this episode I'm going to tell you about is going through. I guess I'm shocked just because the situation even happened. I mean, it's just sickening having to even talk about this. And I know it's kind of ironic considering how, like, you may have like a, let's say, a black male figure who might have passed away, whether it be Kobe or, in the most recent case, Kevin Samuels, so on and so forth. You know, there's been black men that have passed away over the years, and they've been made fun of, they've been speculated against, the rumors come, so on and so forth. But from the men's perspective, I mean, unfortunately, that's the bullshit we got to deal with. That doesn't make it right for us to turn around and do the same thing back to the people who pointed out the shortcomings of the dead. Let's just get right into it. So we're going to talk about Shanquella Robinson. This story's been going on for probably the last couple of days. Ironically enough, I believe this incident happened in October on the 28th. And this took place over in Mexico, of all places. Cabo, I believe. Let's just go ahead, and easiest thing to do right now is to start with the actual article. This is from CNN. It's basically talking about the follow-up from this whole situation. The FBI has opened an investigation after a 25-year-old North Carolina woman was found dead while on vacation in Mexico. This is dated November 18th. And the CNN states the family of a North Carolina woman found dead last month on a vacation rental property in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, is still looking for answers more than 2 weeks after her death. 2 weeks. October 28th. Shanquella Robinson, age 25, traveled to Mexico on vacation with her college friends from Winston-Salem State University. Quoted her father, Bernard Robinson. He told CNN this on Thursday. According to Robinson, his daughter last spoke to her mother, Salamandra, on the phone on the morning of Friday, October 28th. Shanquella Robinson was found dead at her vacation rental the following day, the U.S. and Mexican authorities said. A copy of her death certificate, obtained by CNN affiliate WBTV, lists the cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability or excessive movement in the uppermost neck vertebrae. The document states she was found unconscious in the living room of the rental residence on October 29th. The death certificate classified Robinson's death as accidental or violent, noting that the approximate time between injury and death was 15 minutes. Video posted online appears to show a physical altercation inside a room between Shanquella Robinson and another person. It is not clear when the video was taken or if the video depicts the moment she suffered the fatal injury. Bernard Robinson confirmed to CNN it is his daughter seen in the video being thrown to the floor and beaten on the head. Just to get more detail on that, because more information has surfaced. She wasn't just beaten like, you know how most women fight? They either do the little cat fight stuff where they're kind of slapping each other, or they're pulling hair, or you know, they're throwing those little Can-Ham haymakers. The person in the video was not fighting like a woman. She was more so fighting like a man, because the punches that were being thrown by this person, I mean, unless a woman is trained in MMA or whatever, or some type of martial art, your average woman isn't going to be throwing punches like this. So there's already something suspect going on there. But it was the slam that probably was the last thing that killed her, because it wasn't just like regular slam. According to evidence, it was damn near a body slam, if not one. But let's continue. It is unclear what led to the altercation or how many people were in the room at the time. It's also unclear if anyone tried to intervene. There were at least 3 or 4 people in the video in the back room, I'd say, because there's this pre-footage before the altercation, and there's at least 2 or 3 people in that video just kind of chilling out. And honestly, people are speculating that the group was planning to either jump Shanquella or they were planning to kill her. The FBI Charlotte field office confirmed to CNN in an email Friday that they have opened an investigation into Robinson's death. No charges have been announced, and authorities have not released the names of Robinson's friends. Bernard Robinson said that his family is waiting for additional information from his daughter's friends and Mexican authorities. "You took my only jewel from me," he told CNN by phone Thursday. "You put a big hole in my heart. The only thing I can do is fight for her. I cannot let her die in vain." In a statement obtained by CNN, the State Attorney's General Office of Baja California said investigation into Robinson's death is ongoing, though the statement does not reference her by name. So that being said, a group of 5 people that traveled to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The fight broke out among Shanquella and a group of her friends. I use the term friends loosely. The friends then called her family to tell them that she died from alcohol. One of the friends slammed her, and it was the blow that killed her, because according to video footage, after she was slammed, she was not moving at all. Then the friends left her body behind in Mexico. Friends like these, who needs enemies, huh? I was able to get audio recording of the video just so you all could hear it. You don't even really need to see the video just to understand how wrong the situation is. The voice in the video that you heard was that of a man. Those loud pops that you heard was the sound of the fist hitting Shanquella. This is why the warrior class is desperately needed still. I know there's a whole lot of speculation and a whole lot of anger going around about a lot of social things that is happening in black society regarding men and women, but regardless, there are social norms that are still in place no matter what. I don't give a damn what science has to say or what society has to say. There are certain things that still need to be taken care of due to gender roles. And I'm sorry, but it's just facts. Just like the fact that you had that motherfucker sitting there letting her get beat up. Just letting her get beat up like that. I know there's a lot of people that's going to sit back and victim blame and say that she never should have been there, or, you know, she should have known better, or she should have found better people to be with. Okay, fine. But regardless, this happened on somebody else's watch. Somebody else that could have easily stepped up, did something, and stopped the altercation from happening, had they had the right frame of mind. But something tells me that they were in on it too, because you can clearly hear him say, "Aren't you gonna fight back?" Like a little bitch. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those episodes tonight. If you are not comfortable with language, if you will, this isn't gonna be the episode for you tonight. The sheer fact that there's a man in this video trying to coerce somebody to fight back when they're clearly saying no, they can't fight back, and they're clearly at a disadvantage, and they're clearly getting their ass whooped by supposedly another woman. The fact that you're sitting back and letting this happen, this should never be a thing. This should not be a thing at all. I know that society has changed a whole lot to the point where there are times where we as men do feel like we are locked behind a wall of indecision, like we can't do anything without facing repercussion on our own. Like, I don't know, if you would have stopped the fight, what were the chances that they would have called the police on him? I don't know. This is all due to the things that society's been doing, and I'm not saying it's right. It's just whenever you can't really identify what your gender role is anymore, it's just, is it where you're supposed to jump in and stop two women from fighting, or are you just supposed to sit back and let it happen? I mean, hell. But regardless, I know what I would have done is broken that shit up. I've broken up situations before, whether it's been outside of work, at work, whatever. I've broken the shit up before and had no second thoughts about doing it. Anybody can die in a fight. Doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're a man, you can die in a fight just as easily as a woman can die in a fight. All it takes is you falling on the wrong angle on the wrong object, and that's it. Or getting hit in the wrong place at the right time. Everybody's got a plan until they get knocked out. But the fact that the culture once again steps up and rears its ugly head in the form of a video recording this whole beatdown, like it's supposed to be the front page of World Star now. We're just gonna record this and hope we can get some internet clout off of it. Instead of recording this bullshit, he should have gotten up and went between both of them. And I think there might have been a second man in this video as well. Hard to tell because you don't really see him. Everything's blurred out, rightfully so, because it's a fucking gruesome video. But this is why the warrior class is still needed. Whenever we have men that are afraid to stand up and act, it lets you realize that somewhere along the lines, the teachings have not been reinforced, or they're just not there at all. I know when I was young, my parents told me that if anybody hits me, hit them back. Yes, I get that. Hell, I've even been in situations where I was in daycare and I was fighting off some fucking racist. At least a group of like 5, 6, damn near 8, I think. I was the only black kid in the daycare, and I remember they were all swarming around me. I had to fight them off. I had nobody to stop them. The only thing that stopped them was, ironically enough, was it outside time was over. That was it. But when you're a grown-ass person, a grown-ass college student at that, and you sit back and you plot, you scheme, you connive to see if this woman can get her comeuppance or whatever the hell was going on. Supposedly it was about some relationship. There was a boyfriend of, I guess, the girl that slammed her that had interest in Shanquella. I mean, hell, in that type of situation, you just need to take yourself out of it, because we don't know the rest of the backstory behind that. But regardless, you don't need to be dropping yourself down to that level. I mean, it don't make any sense to even be trying to hook up with somebody that you went to a country with that's already with somebody. I mean, hell, assuming that's the situation. But again, like I said, we don't know the backstory. We don't know what exactly led up to this. But regardless, the lessons are not reinforced or there. Somewhere, somehow, something got skipped over in the upbringing of this person. And that's putting it lightly. So, why is the warrior class still needed? Because if we actually taught our men to be warriors still, this woman would be dead. If anything, the threat would have been put down. The threat would have been stopped. Somebody might have gotten hurt or whatever, but hell, at least nobody would be dead. The authority that a man should have been able to put into place in this situation was not present, nor did it ever have any intention of being present. If anything, being a father myself, a father of a daughter myself, I see this video and it sickens me. And it makes me realize that this is what I'm sending my kid out into the future. This is what the next generation is. And I know, yeah, before anybody even says it, well, not all kids, but hell, their upbringing is the responsibility of the adult at the end of the day. You cannot treat these kids like they're your friends. If anything, there needs to be a reinforcement of rules, morals, so on and so forth. The things that are actually supposed to make somebody a worthwhile human being. But clearly, especially if you let your kids hang around the wrong people, as they continue to grow up and get into their teen, adult years, whatever, early adult, because they're in college, as they get into this mentality around this time, yes, they're going to be more free. Yes, they're actually going to start hanging around more people that they probably normally wouldn't hang around. Yes, they are going to be making decisions on their own. But at the end of the day, if you reinforce positively the mentality and viewpoint that they're supposed to have about the world, none of this shit would be as bad as it is. I actually had a conversation with a coworker a couple of days ago, and she was talking to me about her son. And she told me straight up that her son was going to have to find out about how racist the world is. And parents, yeah, they do protect their kids from certain elements of hate, of animosity, so whatever word you like to choose. but they also do have conversations with them about the things that they should avoid and the things that they should be aware of, to the point where if the parent sees something that's some bullshit, for example, like she was telling me how her son asked a coworker about a certain situation outside of work, and it wasn't like anything big. Her son was just worried about this woman, this young woman, and it was to the point where she got upset, and like most young idiots do, she sent him like a whole essay in text message format, basically saying that she was going to go and tell the manager what he asked her, which wasn't exactly that extreme, especially seeing as how this was pretty much out in the open. She was going to go and tell the manager exactly what he did just to get him fired. And he really couldn't figure out how to handle it. But when his mother saw the text message, rightfully so, she went up to the place of employment and immediately got in contact with the manager and asked why his personal cell phone number was being given out in the first place. It's confidential information. Just because somebody calls in and asks for a fellow coworker's number doesn't mean that they're supposed to get it. If anything, you want that number, you're supposed to ask your coworker yourself. And the fact that she thought that she could just send a whole essay to him, basically dangling his future over his head and threatening him with all sorts of bullshit, that's not right either. Because if anything, just as I'm stating that the warrior class of men is supposed to be given certain standards and morals, the same damn thing should be happening to the women. But once again, we have a disconnect. So the fact that this young lady is dead and killed by quote unquote her friends doesn't make any sense to me. And that also goes with the disconnect. Everybody is not your friend. A friend is somebody that wouldn't even put you in this situation. Hell, I just came back from Bogota with a friend. We weren't in a situation where there was animosity there or he was trying to kill me or whatever. Hell, if anything, we both had each other's back during this entire trip. My girlfriend even went with me. All three of us taking care of each other. That's how a trip is supposed to be. So the fact that you even got to go with some shaky people in the first place, I mean, hell, maybe you shouldn't be on the trip in the first place. You need to know who your actual friends are, and you need to know who the acquaintances are. This young lady should not have even ended up in this situation. We shouldn't even be hearing about this happening. If anything, the parents should be hearing about how great of a time she had. But instead, it's the complete opposite. The parents now have to figure out what exactly happened as far as what killed her and who did it, with no clues actually leading up to anything. I mean, yes, there's things there, and yes, the video's there, but beyond the video, what exactly happened? Was it the fall that actually killed her? Did she get concussions? Who knows? And the fact that the quote-unquote friends left her there, this is why I'm stressing so much that you need to know who your friends are. Because if they were really your friends, they wouldn't have left her there in the first place. Just like a man with a warrior mentality, they're supposed to have a mindset geared towards trying to figure out what the right path is. It's supposed to be ingrained in their mind. It's supposed to be in their blood. It's supposed to be passed down from generation to generation. And yet we have broken generations that cannot figure out how to do this shit. And it's old. It's tiring. And I'm getting sick of looking at it. So from one father to another, or a father to a mother, or just somebody who understands family in general, raise your kids right. Vet their friends. Know what activities they're getting into. Hold on to them the best that you can. I don't give a damn if they're 4, 15, 25, 55. I don't give a damn. That's your legacy right there. And this man's legacy, not just this man, but this man, this father, this mother's legacy never should have been cut down like this in the first place. It wasn't like she was, doing the wrong thing. I mean, hell, she was trying to go to school. She's trying to better herself. She had, apparently, I think had a hairstyling business that was doing quite well. Wasn't like she was slouching around smoking weed every single fucking day, not doing anything with her life. She was trying to handle her business. Deserved a vacation like most of us. You work hard, you gotta play hard. You want to go relax. You don't want to continue to grind the axe every single day until you're dead. You want to go live. But you can't do that if you got the wrong people around you. That's why God rest her soul. You need to know who to keep around you. I'm sorry if this sounds like it's more so of a rant, but I mean, hell, I guess it needs to be said. It really needs to be said. If this is what is going on in these colleges nowadays, we gotta worry. I mean, it's just one incident, but hell, who knows what else is going on. Check in on your kids. Make sure they're right. But most importantly, don't be afraid to teach your young men how to be men. Cowardly behavior learned during boyhood will remain ingrained as a lifelong flaw. That's another quote from Hakakure. You can't be afraid to teach the men how to be men. So at least there's one last line of defense. Because at the end of the day, no matter the people who she decided to go with, if a man is actually worth anything, he would stand up to protect life itself, life in general. We are the protectors. We are the front line. Without us there to provide a protection for our women, there ain't gonna be nothing left of the quote unquote culture. I know a lot of y'all are probably like, man, y'all skate simping. Like, I don't give a damn. I know there's some questionable people out there. Do I mess with them? No. But that's me. I've studied a lot of text. I've studied a lot of old warrior philosophy, new warrior philosophy. Had conversations with my fellow brothers. And the people that I'm around, I know without a shadow of a doubt would probably have done the exact same thing that I'm saying. Because they were raised differently. It was a different generation. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting older and reminiscing about a time that never will be anymore. Maybe this is the end of an era. I don't know. But I hope I'm wrong.
This the Black Powder Podcast, let's get explicit. We got the wisdom hitting targets with a marksman precision. We're having fun in the booth, we're running gun for the truth. Every future black gun owner, we're spreading the news. We do illegal, we're moving regal and blessing the people. Some hopes for the culture, we keep it locked like guns in our holster. Holding it down as we're loading the rounds. If they were nervous back then they're gonna be scared of us now. Black Powder Podcast, we'll be back in a while.